Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Tuesday, October 20th, 2015. Here's a look at the ES front month futures contract. This is the S&P, basically daily chart. You can see not a lot of progress made Friday or Monday, just kind of hanging after Friday's expiration and Monday's first day of the new options cycle. And we're still hanging right under the lows of the 6-month window from March to August, basically. So this is kind of a wall, but we are back above that 61.8% fib retracement that we've been watching for a while here. S&P cash index. S&P literally gained 0.55 points, not even a full point today, after gapping down a little bit. We'll look at that when we look at the intraday action. NDX, the NASDAQ 100, did gain 23.45, but it was very slow drifting action. SOX up less than a point. Look at 3 days in a row, basically the same for the SOX. It's just been a really flat market. Want to make sure you don't overtrade it. We can see it in the volume number, which is horrible after the first hour's play. So you don't want to overtrade that environment. Here's the biotech index up 18. The VIX closed under 15 at 14.98, the first time since the August drop that we got back to those levels. Quick look at crude oil, up 22 cents to 46.50. And that's still under the 10-day moving average there. Gold finally retreating a bit, down 12.10. NASDAQ volume closed the session at 1.46 billion shares. Again, that's a weak number after Friday's 1.6, which was really disappointing for an options expiration day. And then 2 days before that had been a little better, but early last week was light as well. Remember, Monday was a holiday last week, technically. So Tuesday was light. We're back down in that area, the 1.4. It's basically just everybody waiting, I believe, for the earnings that are all coming out. Remember, the next 3 days are the biggest days of earnings releases for the quarter. So we're in the middle, the back part of the core 8 days of earnings, but this is just what the market feels like during those days. Advanced decline ratio for the NASDAQ, 16 stocks, more stocks up than down, so basically flat. On the New York side, it was negative 234 stocks, so 234 more stocks down than up. Google gained $4.63. Now it's all the way up to the risk line from that 13 sell signal that sold it off back in September. Apple up 69 cents. That's just a blip on that one. Amazon continues to make new closing highs and now about to break out of the daily high from its last earnings report back in July. Netflix bounced up $2.70. Put call ratio closed at 0.884. And let's take a look at the trend and the 10-day trend. 10-day moving average of the trend now back up to 1.17. So it's off the radar in terms of the problem area that we usually see when it gets under 0.85. Here's a look at the ES. We'll go to 5-minute candles. And this is the last 2 days basically on the ES. So you can see, Friday opened flat all day. We kind of drifted up at the very end of the day after it looked like we were maybe going to make some lows. And then here's Monday, gap down, pushed up a little bit, flattened out, reached up over lunch just to fill the gap, came back to the middle of this very narrow range. I mean, that's a small range for the day right there anyways. And then drifted back to the highs and closed, like I said, up less than a point at the end of it all. So not very exciting there. In terms of economic data, Tuesday's nothing. Building permits and housing starts an hour before the bell. That is it. So it's really a week where we're just focusing on these earnings coming out. The big ones will all be Wednesday and Thursday, but there is plenty of them coming out Tuesday as well. So be careful. The market's going to just be reacting and reacting to rumors and then reacting to the actual numbers. That's what makes this different than the rest of the quarter in terms of a trading perspective. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you do find these videos useful, please like them on YouTube. It does help us out. Have a great trading week.